العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وقدوتنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, first we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once again. Allah has granted us the tawfiq and the ability to perform our Maghrieb Salaah with Jama'ah. Alhamdulillah. So Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says in one narration that indeed the first thing we will be questioned on the day of Qiyamah will be regarding our Salah. And if we pass the test of Salah, then everything coming after that will be easy for that person. But if he fails the test of Salah, then everything coming after that will be difficult. So we make dua, Allah accept our Salah. Allah grant us to make us of those who will be steadfast in our Salah. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. This evening, a beautiful hadith narrated by Imam At-Tirmidhi rahimahullah, authentic hadith where he narrated hadith عن أبي كبشة الأنماري أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إنما الدنيا لأربعة نفر. That Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam says that indeed in this dunya people are categorized in four groups. When it comes to this dunya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has divided people into four groups, says Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. As for the first group, عبد رزقه الله مالا وعلما فهو يتقي فيه ربه ويصل فيه رحمه ويعلم لله فيه حقا فهذا بأفضل المنازل. So the first group, they are the best group in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The first group of the people of this dunya is that Allah grants a person's wealth. Grant a person wealth, says Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah has given him wealth in this dunya, but connected to that wealth, not only did Allah give him wealth, but Allah gave him knowledge also. Connected with the wealth is the knowledge, as Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And because of that knowledge Allah has given him, and that you will find that person فَهُوَ يَتَّقِي فِيهِ رَبَّهُ. That person, he will fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That person will be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That wealth that he has, he will understand that this is a responsibility and amana Allah has given to me. On the day of Qiyamah, I will be questioned, how did I earn and how did I spend it? So that person will be fearful and conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding his wealth. And not only that, says Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَيَصِلُ فِيهِ رَحِمَهُ. He will look after his family, he will nurture the relationship between family members, he will keep it together through that wealth Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to that person. So not only Allah gave him the wealth, Allah gave him knowledge with that wealth, and through that knowledge Allah gave him the consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and through the consciousness of Allah he fulfills the haqq of those that is responsible for in this dunya. And then says Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَيَعْلَمُ لِلَّهِ فِي حَقًّا. Not only that, he knows that Allah has a right in his wealth as well. That person understands that I need to pay my zakah, for example, this Allah has fard upon me. That person knows that I need to pay my debts if I have debts. That person knows that he needs to set straight his will. That person sees that everything in terms of his wealth is done according to the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَهَذَا بِأَفْضَلِ الْمَنَازِلِ. And this is Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the most virtuous group of people. The best group of people in the eyes of Allah. So when we ask Allah for increase in wealth, and normally we all make dua. And Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that two desires never grows old in a person. No matter how grey and how old we become, two desires never grow old. The desire for a long life and for more years in this dunya, and the desire for more money, for more wealth in this dunya. So when we make dua, Allah increase me in rizq, we should make the dua, Allah increase me in rizq and increase me in knowledge regarding how to spend the rizq as well. And here we find that Rasul says the best of people is the one who Allah has given him rizq and sustenance, and with the rizq Allah has given that person the knowledge that goes with it, so he can spend it in a manner and earn it in a manner that is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the second group of people, says Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَعَبْدٍ رَزَقَهُ اللَّهُ عِلْمًا وَلَمْ يَرْزُقْهُ مَالًا. The second group, Allah gave him knowledge, but Allah never gave him money in this dunya. Allah never gave him wealth. He might have the world of knowledge, but Allah never gave him wealth. He's not a rich person. But then says Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, فَهُوَ صَادِقُ النِّيَّةِ. But that person has a very sincere intention. This person is very sincere in his niyyah. He says, Rasul sallam, يقول لو أن لي مالا لعملت بعمل فلان فهو بنيته فأجرهما سواء. Says Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then he is very sincere in his niyyah. He looks and admires the one who Allah has given wealth. So Allah has given him knowledge and Allah never gave him abundance of wealth. But he looks at the one Allah has given wealth and he says, if Allah had to give me wealth, I would have done like how this person is spending his wealth. I would have invested my wealth like how this person is spending his wealth in obedience of Allah, looking after his family, bringing his family together, making sadaqatun jariyah, being involved in charity organizations, and spending his wealth in a manner pleasing to Allah. Because of his niyyah, says Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he wants to be like that person. And that's why it's so important. The hadith we have done before, 2 or 3 weeks ago, where Rasulullah says, when it comes to your deen, look at the one who does more, who is more righteous, so that we can be inspired by them. So this is an example. He looks at the one and he says, Ya Allah, look at how good and how inspiring this person spent his wealth. So we have the desire to also want to be like that. And he makes a sincere intention, if I had the money, I would have done so. Allah is willing to give that person, says Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because of his sincere niyyah, Allah is even willing to give him also that reward. The power of the intention. So when we look at that person, admire that person, we should want to do the good that he's busy with. Like how we spend his money in a manner pleasing to Allah, that should be our goal and our desire as well. So the second group of people, Allah gave him wealth, Allah gave him no knowledge. I mean, all the knowledge and no wealth. And the third group of people, says Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَعَبْدٍ رَزَقَهُ اللَّهُ مَالًا وَلَمْ يَرْزُقْهُ عِلْمًا. The third group, Allah gave him wealth. He's a wealthy person, but Allah never gave him any knowledge that will guide and assist him in spending and earning his wealth in a manner pleasing to Allah. فَهُوَ يَخْبِطُهُ فِي مَالِهِ بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ. He wastes and squanders his wealth without knowledge. لا يتقي فيه ربه. He doesn't fear Allah regarding his wealth. He doesn't fear Allah regarding his wealth, how he earn, how he spend. ولا يصل فيه رحمه. He doesn't look after his family. He doesn't connect and see that the family stay together. ولا يعلم لله فيه حقا فهذا بأخبط المنازل. And also he doesn't know, says Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that Allah is right in terms of his wealth. That person doesn't pay his zakah. He doesn't understand. He has no knowledge of the haqq of Allah on his wealth. Such a person, says Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this group of people is the worst in the eyes of Allah. May Allah protect us and don't break us from those. So the worst group of people is Allah's given him wealth but no knowledge. And then the last group of people, says Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَعَبْدٍ لَمْ يَرْزُقْهُ اللَّهُ مَالًا وَلَا عِلْمًا. Is Allah gave him no wealth and no knowledge as well. But فهو يقول لو أن لي مالا لعملت فيه بعمل فلان فهو بنيته فوزرهما سواء, says Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then you find a person, he has no knowledge, no ilm as well. So he admires the one who has wealth and no knowledge. And he admires that this person is spending his money wrong. He is fulfilling every haram desire of his. And then the one who has no wealth and no money, he desires to be like that person. He desires with a heart that I want to be like him. I want to do this haram and I want to do that haram. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says it's almost like the same like that person in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam reminds us beautifully, and this is something for us to always, when we ask Allah for, that when we ask for wealth, increase in wealth, we should connect with it, increase in knowledge as well. Understanding, so that we can be conscious of Allah regarding our wealth. So one again, wealth with knowledge. Knowledge, no wealth, but sincere in niyyah. And the third one, Allah gave him wealth without knowledge. And this is from the worst group of people. And Allah, the fourth one is the one who Allah gave no knowledge and no wealth, but he admires the one who squanders and the one who perform haram and spend his money haram. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of the first two groups of people, those who will spend their money well, those who will Be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding the wealth and those who Allah give knowledge regarding the sustenance and the rizq Allah has provided them. We ask Allah to give us tawfiq and understanding. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah.